Greetings and welcome to the Military Connection video series. My name is Alan Rolfing and I'm Director of National Outreach here at Military Connection. During this video series, we'll chat about a host of topics relevant to the military community. Things like education, employment, entrepreneurship, and many more. We also encourage you to visit our website at militaryconnection.com and subscribe to our newsletter if you haven't already. Follow us on social too. Our Facebook page is Military Connection and our Twitter handle is @theGoToSite. Top 10 lists. It seems like they're everywhere and about everything. Having spent nearly a decade in uniform and out of uniform helping veterans find jobs, it should come as no surprise that I have my own such list. And a list like this, the top 10 list of reasons to hire veterans, and share that list with job seekers from the military community that I come across. For this list of reasons to hire veterans is as much for veterans themselves as it is for business owners and hiring managers. For those looking for a job, however, it's important that they know how those in the employment assistance arena are advocating for them. They need to know that we've talked the talk so that they can put things in place to walk the walk, so to speak. Job seekers should take inventory of the things that might very well make them the most qualified applicant for the job, the best candidate, things that are on a list like this. They should incorporate those soft skill sets and experiences into their resume, their cover letter, answers to potential interview questions, communicating what they bring to the table and how they can make a positive and lasting impact to that civilian employer's workforce. I was initially going to say that this list of 10 is in no particular order, but in fact there is an order to my list. It's an order that I put together based on nearly a decade of meeting with employers to discuss the prospect of hiring veterans for their workforce. My top 10 list is what you see here. It starts with leadership experience and strong personal integrity, ability to work as a team member and as a team leader, performance under pressure. Maybe it's the possession of a valid security clearance, a strong work ethic, specialized advanced training and technical skills. Maybe it's a certification, that hard skill set that you have. Flexibility, adaptability, discipline, attention to detail. These are all tremendous assets to a civilian employer's workforce. And those are skill sets, even soft skill sets, that so many of us have. Keep in mind that you may not have all of these in your arsenal. Some of us have more of these soft skills than others. Some of us have spent decades in uniform, and others just a few years of an initial enlistment. Different branches of service have put emphasis on different areas in different times. Training that a soldier received in the 70s is quite a bit different than what the sailor received just last year. So all of these bullet points in this particular top 10 list can be extremely valuable to an employer, for folks in their workforce to have in their hip pocket. The leadership experience, the strong personal integrity, the ability to work as a team member and team leader, on and on and on. Each one of these you're probably familiar with, you've probably given it conscious thought. You may very well already have that built into quantifiable data onto your resume. But going through each one, if you haven't given it much conscious thought, maybe you, again, just finishing up your initial enlistment, your first tour, so to speak, and so giving it conscious thought that, hey, these are things that I have. These are trials and tribulations that I've been through that have made me maybe a stronger candidate for a certain position. Leadership experience. Many of us have been there. Not every single one of us have gone through that training, gone through those schools, been placed in those situations. But if you've been responsible for a certain dollar amount of equipment, or you've been responsible for a certain number of men and women in your charge, that's something that you can let that hiring manager know, either through the resume process or at the interview table. Your personal integrity. We can talk about the Army values. You can talk about those things that we care about in every branch of service, and we all have them. Integrity is one of those that we are honest, we are honorable, and that's something that an employer is going to want to have for their workforce as well. Can you work as a team member, as a team leader? one of the hallmarks of a good leader is knowing when to be able to follow orders. And so you're not always going to be in that leadership position. But if your employer is seeing you as a valuable member of their team, you may be in front, or you may be doing some of the dirty work and the grunt work, and that's okay. Those roles will reverse, and you'll want to have good members on your team as well. Performance under pressure. We've all been there. So you don't have to have been deployed in the most dangerous valley in Afghanistan to be performing under pressure. Maybe it's getting ready for an inspection, or maybe it's just your day-to-day stuff at your duty station, whether that's on land, sea, or air. So those are the kind of things that are hallmarks of military service, and performing under pressure is for sure one of those. Perhaps it's the possession of a valid security clearance. So many employers are in industries or working as government contractors, and they need members of their workforce to have valid security clearances. And that's a process. For those of you that still have one or have gone through the top secret process, we've also walked the walk in keeping that secret clearance and that top secret clearance. And so very valuable for an employer. Strong work ethic. Many of us have been told over the years that, hey, folks in the military experience, folks in the military community, they've got a strong work ethic. So whether that means that you're loyal, whether it means you show up on time, there's an assumption there that with our military experience, we're going to be reliable. We're going to be able to get the job done, and that is in large part what strong work ethic is all about. Specialized training. You've got it, I've got it. Whatever that hard skill set that you've been certified for, that military school that you went to. Personally, I'm a field artilleryman, so I spent some time behind a cannon in front of a lot of troops and putting rounds down range. But whatever your skill set is, maybe that's the job, the type of job that you're looking for. Maybe you want to take as a truck driver, as someone in cyber. Maybe you want to take that skill set and parlay it into a civilian occupation, and that's great. But if not, you've still got those skills. Maybe you want to start something totally unique, so totally separate in a different industry, but you've still got those hard skills that may be something that makes you the best qualified applicant for the job. Flexibility and adaptability. Those are hallmarks of military service as well. Being able to adjust fire, being able to shift on the fly, those are tremendous assets that employers love to have on their workforce. Discipline almost goes without saying, but discipline is one of those things that we tend to come out of military service with a high degree of discipline, and that is extremely valuable. And attention to detail. Even though it's at the back end of my top 10 list, it might as well be up there right at the top, because being attentive to the details of your situation, of your life, of your work environment, attention to detail is high on every employer's list. So this very quickly is just a little bit about a top 10 list from my perspective. I have sat down before and I have a top 50 list. So we could spend hours talking about all the soft skills that those of us with military service, those of us in the military community, all we bring to the table. I encourage you to analyze what you have in your hip pocket, what you have in your arsenal, and convey that in your resume and in that interview process. So these are just a few reasons why employers value military experience in their workforce. If you're a hiring manager, I'm sure you get my point. If you're a job seeker from the military community, I encourage you to figure out which of these items in this particular top 10 list resonate with you, at least in part because of the path that you followed. Be able to make the connection between items on this list and the essential elements in the job description, and do your best to communicate what you bring to the table during your next job interview. Thanks for spending a few minutes with us today. Again, please visit us online at militaryconnection.com and connect with us on social. Until next time.